All right, so our next group of Trojan Trophy racers, we'll have you out on the course next as soon as we've got this outboard C boat safely towed back in. So if we're ready to go. And then after that, after this next group of Trojan Trophy competitors, we'll have our next 25 horsepower race. So that's the next couple of things coming up. Just got that broken down boat, pretty close in now. So just a minute or two until we get underway with racing again.
So Dave, my apologies. I was calling that initial boat, I was calling it Tough Enough. I was trying to call it off the screen upstairs, but my apologise to everyone concerned. It should have been obviously Steve Rarity and from the Raymond Terrace Aquatic Club in Sydney, I beg your pardon, in just west of Newcastle. So he took the win. So my apologies both to Tough Enough and the Rarity clan. And we'll see Steve, I beg your pardon, James up in the next heat.
Just while we've got a minute, mate, something that I probably need to do. I don't like having to do it, but congratulations to your crew, New South Wales, on the State of Origin. We normally cover that every year when you come up, and congratulations, and that's about all I have to say about that.
It's been a bit funny. There's been a few Queenslanders, they haven't really spoken about the rugby league, but anyway, we'll leave it at that because I've got to try and get out of here this afternoon, so I'm not going to say terribly much. But anyway, I tell you what, we've had the opening of the Olympics this morning, mate. I don't know if you got to see any of it, but geez, it was a little bit different having the opening ceremony on the water. We've got, of course, our Olympics here at Sandy Hook at Bradnyon this weekend. But we can see the very bright blue boat of James Clark. Once again, my apologies. So we can see James from Adelaide, South Australia. See the impulse boat of Brendan Mason. Brendan from the Raymond Terrace Aquatic Club. And of course, Corey Marlin in Sicko. That's the third of our boats going up the Brisbane Marine back straight.
Just very quickly, before it gets too loud, someone's handed in some blue frame
so
glasses.
Coming up for the start, ladies and gentlemen, tough
yours.
enough on the inside, getting a great start, but look on the outside, we've got Sick Puppy right down the outside, Inboard through the centre. So Clark holding that inside line, wow! Coming onto the Brisbane Marine back straight next time around, topping up. James Clark trying to fend off Brendan Mason in second place. So the boat's coming out of Brisbane Marine around in Zenit Bundaberg top turn onto the Smiley Grip front straight, showing his superiority now. Not much Mason can do, but receiving the yellow flag and one to go for Clark. Not much Mason can do. Young Corey Marlin, the 16-year-old. So final time on the Smiley Group front straight, ladies and gentlemen. The blue boat all the way from Adelaide, South Australia. James Clark taking the win over Brendan Mason in second place. Third going to Corey Marlin. So we had the Adelaide Speedboat Club represented in first place. Second going to the Raymond Terrace Aquatic Club. And in third place, the Queenslander from the Goldie, of course, Corey Marlin. So that's Heat 1B of the Trojan. Each of the drivers, two more heats of the Trojan each for today. Don't be afraid to put those hands together, ladies and gentlemen. Show your appreciation. Some of these boats doing in excess of 125 mile an hour. Really honking along. And as we'll probably see later in the day, or later tomorrow, when we have the Dominic McLaughlin King of the River, you would imagine some of these 6-litre boats will be invited, and they will be start nipping away at the heels of guys like Troy Marlin, some of the big F1 boats, the tunnel boats we've got here this weekend.
All right, thanks to your great call of that Trojan Cup race, Craig. Just let the everyone know that 25 horsepower Heat 2, you're up next. So as soon as these 6 litres are back in safely, we'll get our 25 horsepower race underway. So Heat 2 coming up next for 25s, and that'll be followed by Inboard B.
in Siren out of 2. Hugo Brackmanis in Slingshot out of 3. Steve Cooper, Cooper Science Racing out of 4. Peter Bartz, Mental Health in 5. And Ben Ashby, driver of Kamikaze, coming out of pole 6. Just our apologies, ladies and gentlemen. Out of 5, Peter Bartz, Mental Health. Out of 6, out of 5, Peter Bartz, Mental Health. Out of 6, Ben Ashby, Kamikaze. There are our 6 boats coming up. Just getting that rescue craft of the just a word for people here at the venue. Our good friends from the Hinkler Lions Club, their steak burgers will be on sale from 11 o'clock. So at 10:30, 11 o'clock, they'll have their steak burgers for sale. The Hinkler Lions tent, the big yellow tent to our right. So a big thank you, particularly all the kids out there that have come along to the powerboat racing. Maybe first time. A big hello going out to Zane here on the bank. Hope you're enjoying your powerboat racing. Chris Tucker firing up the Millennium Chance boat, the boat named Villain, and he certainly is. .25 horsepower due to come out next. Still awaiting maybe the jet ski has gone back out on the course. Thank you. 25 horsepower coming up, heat 2. We'll see a father and daughter combo in this race coming out of pole 2 and 4.
Turn your mic off a sec, Craig. Okay, so on our way now, so 25 horsepower, so it looks like Slingshot there. Hugo's had a little bit of a mishap on that first NZ turn there, but he's back underway again now. Meanwhile, at the front, so it looks like we've got Scott Trainer, more time out, leading the way at the present time, and that'll be Steph Cooper, I think, in Siren right next to him there, so challenging for the lead at the present time. So meanwhile, back there, we'll have, I think, Peter Bart's Mental Health in third and Steve Cooper in Coop Science Racing sitting fourth at the present time. As they come down to complete lap 1 of 3, so Scott Trainer in more time out, leading the way at the present time. Steph Cooper in Siren coming in second at the moment. Coming down there, that'll be Peter Bart's Mental Health in that dark coloured boat there, and then Coop Science Racing, and then you've got Kamikaze, I think, and Slingshot neck and neck there at the back. So meanwhile, out front now, so it looks like Steph Cooper, so she's dropped off a bit during that turn there, so Scott Trainer in more time out has taken over that lead again fairly well, so Steph will sit back there in second. Peter Bart's in Mental Health is in third at the moment. Coop Science Racing, Steve Cooper sitting there in fourth, and looks like Hugo in that green Slingshot boat recovered well from his mishap last lap, but a little bit of work to do for those last two boats, Slingshot and Kamikaze. Meanwhile, down at the back front there, coming out of that Whitewater Marine turn into the Smileys front straight, we'll have a yellow flag going up, so just about 1 lap to go in this one. Scott Trainer in more time out, pretty well out in front at the moment, but Steph Cooper there in Siren is near enough if he makes even the slightest mistake. Meanwhile, Peter Bart's there in Mental Health coming in third at the present time. Bit of a race there as that Slingshot boat, Hugo in that green boat, recovers and he's making his way back up, so about to pass Coop Science Racing going down the main straight there. Meanwhile, on the back straight, Scott Trainer in more time out, still well out in front. Steph Cooper in Siren second. Peter Bart's still in third, so not much changing there. Keep an eye on those back three. Those might be all the placings count at the end of the day, folks, so it's they accumulate points right across the weekend, so it's not a lost cause for those boats that aren't in the lead at the moment. All the points count at the end of the weekend. So coming down now, Scott Trainer in more time out. Just a little bit to go, and the checkered flag is waiting for him as he crosses the start-finish line. Steph Cooper in Siren will be second. Peter Bart's in Mental Health third. Looks like Steve Cooper in Coop Science Racing is going to hold on for fourth. And then you've got a battle between Slingshot and Kamikaze, and it's going to be Slingshot next, and then Kamikaze for our 25 horsepower race. So that 25 horsepower race was brought to us by Coop Science Engineering, owned by Steve Cooper, and they're a recently formed company that can solve complex problems with simple solutions. Steve, as well as when he's not racing his boat, he's got over 20 years experience in the medical and scientific laboratory domain, specialising in biochemistry, industrial spectrometry, and optical emission and mass spectrometry. So he's that's what Steve does when he's not out racing his 25 horsepower boat. So coming up next, we've got our Inboard B race. So I was just down the pits there, and most of them look like they're ready to go. So as soon as these 25 horsepowers are all in, we'll be underway with Inboard B.
We have race coming up, ladies and gentlemen. Inboard B out of 1, Steve Mallett, Montgomery out of 2, Peterson out of 3, Eglinton out of 4, and out of 5 it's Fletcher. On the outside, look at Peterson and Hot Lemon, but coming into second place courtesy of Bundaberg in. Eglinton. Mark Eglinton moved up a position to third place. So Peterson comes up on the inside on the Bundaberg, beg your pardon, the Brisbane Marine back straight. So Peterson leads out from Steve Mallett in Sendit. So the local boy moves into the lead. 1 lap to go for Rod Peterson. Sendit going to Steve Mallett, Mark Eglinton. The next boat on the Smiley Group front straight. The misfire 2 of Wayne Montgomery. An irritation, Brent Fletcher bringing up the tail, but final time on the Brisbane Marine back straight. Leading into NZ Bundaberg. The top corner and onto the Smiley Group front straight. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. What is hoping to be many, many, many Whitewater Marine checkered flags this weekend. Mr. Rod Peterson takes the win. From in second place, Steve Mallett. In third, Mark Eglinton. Next along on the inside is Wayne Montgomery in misfire 2. An irritation, bring up the tail, Brent Fletcher. Wow. One of Bundaberg's favourite sons, ladies and gentlemen, in Hot Lemon, Rod Peterson. He's a big mover and shaker with NZ here at Bundaberg also. A very big thank you going out to Oz Propellers, bringing us our first race for Inboard B of today. Looks like our next race is Outboard B, brought to us by ASAP Aircraft Spares. Villain driver is Chris Tucker. Never Enough, Sam Perry. Millard Financial, Marcus Millard, Double M. And Hoodlum, Todd Hines. They're our 4 starters for race 1. Outboard B, our first for the weekend. Outboard B, brought to us by ASAP Aircraft Spares. So we're down to 3 starters, Outboard B, and those are Chris Tucker, driver of Villain, Millard Financial, Marcus Millard, and Todd Hines, driving Hoodlum. So our blue flag is out on the course. That's an indication for our drivers to get yourselves in the water to follow our start boat to the top end of the course. We can see the Millard machine, the 222 coming out on the water. Red boat, we can hear the Hoodlum boat of Toddy Hines being fired up, I beg your pardon. So the green and black villain boat of Chris Tucker, a Millennium Chance hull, powered by 300 Promax Mercury, proudly sponsored by Millennium Boats. The red 222 boat of Marcus Millard. Millard Financial is the boat name. It's a Millennium Chance, exactly like Chris's boat. Mercury engine, proudly sponsored by Millard Financial. They're based on the Gold Coast and Brisbane. And our third boat, Hoodlum. Get the details. That was a late entry this morning, so unfortunately didn't get the detail in time. So boats in the milling area, ladies and gentlemen. So we've got Chris Tucker driving the boat Villain, and also Marcus Millard driving the 222 boat. Both those boats, Millennium Chance hulls. So we can see our start boat coming down the course, just about to hit the Smiley grip, front straight. Here they come, ladies and gentlemen. That white flag is aloft. The Hoodlum boat of Todd Hines. That'll be closest to us here on the bank. We have a flag down. We have a race start. Hoodlum on the outside. Todd Hines. He's charged out of the blocks. In the rear engine hydro, the Hoodlum boat of Hines, very wide indeed. Look at the rooster tail of Todd Hines on the outside, moving into the Brisbane Marine back straight. We can see Marcus Millard on the inside. Chris Tucker, he's dropped back significantly, but halfway down the Brisbane Marine back straight, Hoodlum, but courtesy of that good real estate on the inside, here comes Marcus Millard. Right on the inside, coming into NZ at Bundaberg, the top corner, right round the outside, keeping the momentum in the boat. A big rooster tail coming for Hoodlum. Todd Hines. Great race for the lead, ladies and gentlemen. A fair old gap now back to a third, Chris Tucker. Oh, we've had a problem. The fire's gone out of Hoodlum. He stopped in the NZ Bundaberg bottom turn. So that leaves way out in front. And I mean way out in front is Marcus Millard. He leads out by nearly a full straight on the Brisbane Marine back straight over Chris Tucker. I'll tell you what, Tucker slowed significantly also. But Millard receiving the yellow flag, and one to go for Millard. So Millard currently on his last lap. Anyone at the venue that can see the white flag with the red diagonal stripe through it, that's warn the drivers that there is a disabled boat on the course, and that disabled boat, of course, is Todd Hines. So it's basically a warning flag. So Millard, final time onto the Smiley grip, front straight. And he'll take the win over his good mate Chris Tucker. So Millard takes the the win. Tucker's got some big problems in that villain machine. So there we go, Outboard B.
The course boys need to be shifted, so while they do that, we will just have a short delay for a few minutes.
Just while we're waiting for Hoodlum to be retrieved. For anyone at the venue yesterday, ladies and gentlemen, we had a really solid afternoon of practice, and everything was going really well for this guy until he had a bit of a dipsy doodle going up the Brisbane Marine back straight. Zak Atkinson, what happened?
I think the last couple of weekends been good, been out in the water heaps, lots of rough water. Come here yesterday, it was very flat, very smooth. I think the boat was just sucked into the water a bit, so as I trimmed it out that little bit more, that was a little bit too much for it. Wind caught it and off it went. So yeah, kind of held him for the ride, knew I wasn't going to come back down. So yeah, luckily got out quickly, had all the rescue crew there straight away for me, checked me out. But main thing is got out okay, boat's done for the weekend, but yeah.
We saw you at the St George Powerboat Club last weekend. Boat was really strong. You were basically a bit of test and tune last weekend for this weekend. It all turned pear-shaped yesterday.
Yeah, so down at St George Motorboat Club last weekend for their big spectacular. All just getting ready for this weekend. This is supposed to be our big weekend for us for the year. But yeah, unfortunately that come to an end. But it was good down there anyway. Got to experience some bigger, closer racing. Got put in a heat for the Riverside with 2 GP hydros, so that was something very different, lots of big hulls, so good learning curve with that anyway.
Yeah, just going back to yesterday, I hate going back over old news, but I'll tell you what, the boat got some serious air down that back straight.
Yeah, no, for sure. It was riding very high. Yeah, I guess there's always a limit, and I found the limit, so that was it.
The beauty of powerboat racing these days, the safety's so good.
Yeah, for sure. The paramedics took me into the hospital yesterday, Arvo, to check me out, and yeah, they were amazed at how well we can come out of them without really a scratch or anything. So yeah, it shows how important it is to have all the right safety gear and safety cells and things like that.
Then, and of course, you've got the 5-point harness. You've got oxygen. You've got an oxygen bottle in the cockpit as well.
Yeah, so 5-point harness, not moving anywhere, and oxygen bottle as well. So in the event you can't get out quick enough, you know you can sit inside the cell, wait and breathe on air until a diver can get to you and get you out. Okay, mate. Look, the main thing is you're okay, but you are a little bit sore. Yeah, sore for sure, but I'm okay. Ready to watch the rest of the weekend racing. It should be good. Okay, just finally, mate, is the boat cactus, as in a throwaway? No, already been on the phone with a few people. I think it's going to be getting driven down to Sydney sometime soon to get fixed. So don't know a time when it will be back on the water, but we should be back stronger soon at some point. All right, mate, we can't wait to see that. And it was a bit of a dipsy doodle down there back straight, but we know the Atkinson family have been in the sport a long time. You'll be back sooner rather than later. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for one of our young tearaway drivers, Zak Atkinson. Thank you, Zak. Thanks, Craig. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Zak Atkinson, the third generation driver here this weekend. He had his unfortunate moment yesterday, but he'll be back better than ever.
Alrighty, so blue flag is up for Inboard A's, and this race is sponsored by Whitewater Marine down there on the Gold Coast. Alrighty, so our field for this Inboard A race making its way down the course now is Who Cares, driven by Tim Winmore, Downtime with Rob Simpson driving, Home Wrecker driven by Dave Law, Cole Sweat with the driving shared over the weekend between Ben and Tim Cole, The Punisher driven by Andrew Goodhue, and Hustler with James McLaughlin driving. So after this Inboard A race, Outboard A will be up next.
So Dave Wise, what have we got coming up the top of the river? I was just there with Zak Atkinson. You want to call it or? Yeah. Yep. Whitewater Marine, our good friend Clinton White bringing us Inboard A for the weekend. Out of 1, Andrew Goodhue, The Punisher. Dave Law, Home Wrecker out of 2. Rob Simpson, Downtime out of 3. Out of 4, we've got James McLaughlin in Hustler. 5, 10, Windmill, Who Cares. 6, Benny Cole. Here we go, Dave White.
Thanks, Craig. And as we head out of the start-finish line, so the Punisher, who's off pole 1 there, so he's got a good run out of that turn from Dave Law in Home Wrecker. So just looking there, Cole Sweat will be in third at the present time. So at the present time, Andrew Goodhue in the Punisher. Well, out in front, slowed up a fair bit in that corner, so he's given Dave Law in Home Wrecker a good look in there. In fact, Dave Law, a pretty good run out of that corner, so it'll be pretty tight between those first 2 boats as they come across the start-finish line now. Meanwhile, but it's still Punisher in at first from Home Wrecker, Cole Sweat. Then we're going to have Downtime and Hustler and Who Cares coming across in 6. So at the halfway mark in this one, so there are 1.5 laps to go. It's Dave Law in Home Wrecker's taken over that lead from Punisher, Andrew Goodhue. At the present time, Cole Sweat is just about to mount a challenge as well for those top placings. Bit untidy there for Dave Law, so Andrew Goodhue doesn't need an invitation and takes over the lead again in Punisher. So expect it to be pretty tight between those 2 as they come back down to the line. So as they head down the back straight now, half a lap to go. Dave Law in Home Wrecker has got the goods down that back straight. Punisher, Andrew Goodhue finding a bit of rough water there and has had to slow right up. Meanwhile, Cole Sweat Now possibly a look in for second, but we'll see how they come out of that turn. Dave Law in home wrecker. The checkered flag is waiting, but he's slowed right up, as is Punisher, and Cole Sweat has come in over the top. So not sure whether both of those boats have got a problem there, but that seemed really odd, Craig. Well, both Dave Law in home wrecker and Punisher both slowed right down there, right on the finish. Cole Sweat in over the top, but so we'll find out what's happened there. Home wrecker, Punisher duking it out for first and second all the way. All right, so that was Inboard A, brought to us by Whitewater Marine. Next up is Outboard A. So as soon as these boats are back in off the water, we'll be on the way with our Outboard A races.
Good field of Outboard A coming out, ladies and gentlemen. The number 17 running for Brisbane Marine. The number 17, of course, Craig Spicer. This hull, an Aussie F1 composite 250 APX V8 motor. And the other stablemate, not too sure if it's his dad, Pete, or Gary Dryer driving the... Gary, thank you. So Gary Dryer driving the other Brisbane Marine boat. We can see Dave Wedlock coming out in the unusually coloured number 3. They've torched a couple of motors recently. Dave was saying to me this morning, he's only got about 280 horsepower, I think it was, with the engine bolted on. Great to see Craig Truslove showing some really good speed yesterday in practice. The number 51 Extreme Marine Swick Automotive, no deposit first home. Really good to see Craig showing some really good form. This boat, of course, powered by an Evinrude. We don't see many circuit boats in Australia running an Evinrude. Good to see you. Thank you, mate. Outboard A coming up, ladies and gentlemen. Dave Wise, you may have the pole positions. We've seen the last couple of years, we've seen the boats
starting off a dock start. We see the number 4, Joel Downs machine, coming down the ramp.
Righty, yeah, so just jump. Craig. So coming off pole 1 will be Craig Spicer. Off 2 will be in CPG Racing. Off 2 will be Craig Truslov in the Extreme Marine boat. Off 3 will be Dave Wedlock from Wedlock Racing. Pole 4 was Team Bar, but they're out, as you were talking to Zach there before, as is High Lift Water Sports, David Parker, out for the weekend. Then off the next 6 will be Joel Downs in dealing again. Then 7 Aussie Composites with Peter Spicer and Gary Dreyer sharing the driving.
The 51 boat showed some really good speed yesterday.
Yeah, we had a couple of issues yesterday morning with the engine, so we changed the engine over. But yeah, so far so good. We ran it. This is the engine we ran it lately a couple of weeks ago, and we did 30 odd laps with no drama. So yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Okay, you spent a lot of time with this boat.
About 7 years now.
The Avenue coming down to the start. One of our great sponsors here, Mr. Jason Chiswell of Extreme Marine. Coming up at the start, ladies and gentlemen, Outboard A. Doesn't get any better. We can see Truslov out of 2, the yellow machine. Looks like Craig Spicer on the inside. We do have a start. Great start by Craig Spicer on the inside. Truslov, Dave Wedlock, and right down the outside. Right down the outside, here comes Gary Dreyer. But on the inside, Spicer, Truslov moves onto the outside, onto the Brisbane Marine back straight. Look at this drag race, ladies and gentlemen. Wedlock back to 3rd. Drive, I tell you what, Spicer's coming back on the inside of Truslov. Wow! Coming up to the NZ at Bundaberg, top turn. Good corner by Truslov. Forcing Spicer back on the inside. Look at Wedlock. He's a sleeper in all this. He's charging down the outside. Truslov's got a problem. Truslov's got a problem here. He slowed significantly down the main straight, and Spicer's moved back into the lead, but the wily veteran, Dave Wedlock, has moved up on the outside. Spicer's going to make him work really hard. He'll force him out wide, coming onto the Smiley Group front straight. Spicer on the inside. Wedlock on the outside. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. We got 2 more of this. Truslov's back in 3rd. Joel Downs 4th. And Gary Dreyer back in 5th place. The veteran racer, Dave Wedlock. I tell you, Craig Spicer, he didn't look real well yesterday on his birthday. Maybe it's taking a little bit of effect on him at the moment. Truslov's come up back on the inside. Wedlock driving pin to pin as we speak. You see Truslov coming back on the inside of Spicer. So that's the battle of 2nd and 3rd. So we could hear last time around, ladies and gentlemen, all was not well with the Truslov machine. Final time, ladies and gentlemen, taking the Whitewater Marine checkered flag, and that goes to Davey Wedlock. Dave Wedlock. He's had engine dramas for the last couple of weeks, but he's finally found victory. 2nd goes to Craig Spicer. Next along is Craig Truslov. That's a Craigathon here for 2nd and 3rd. Joel Downs holding 4th place for Downs Racing, and Gary Dreyer bringing up the tail. Holy moly, what a race. He was a sleeper on the outside, Truslov and Spicer. They were going hammer and tong out in the lead. And meanwhile, Wedlock is just sitting back, smoking the pipe, smoking. What's going on? And next minute, right round the outside. Put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen. He's had a terrible time with engines recently, but I tell you what, that is a really, really good result for Wedlock Racing.
All right, so with the Outboard A race done, our last race for the first round of racing today is the unlimited inboards. So we're just waiting for these outboards to make their way back in, and we'll have the unlimited inboards brought to us by Sign Max Bundaberg up for our last race for our first round of heats for today. And then we'll be underway again with round 2 with our juniors. Right, so as these unlimited inboard races make their way out onto the course, thanks to Sign Max Bundaberg. The field for this one is Fury with Hayden Chesser driving, Madness driven by Troy Marland, Sick Puppy driven by Corey Marland, Melody XL with Brian Kilpatrick driving, and Rudis and Lock and Load are 2 extra entries. So just coming up to almost that time of day, ladies and gentlemen, where you might be feeling a little bit hungry. So you'll see we do have a number of food vendors out here, so please take advantage. There's coffee vendors. There's a number of food vendors on both sides of the clubhouse here. We've got the Hinkler Lions crew just down from us here, as well as the other vendors up in the other car park there. So please, we will at some stage take a break in racing to grab our lunch, but if you want to beat the rush, then now's a great time to perhaps grab yourselves a bite to eat from one of our awesome food vendors that we've got here today. And just a quick heads up for our junior competitors. After this race, we'll get underway with round 2. So J2 followed by J3. So junior competitors, you can be getting ready to get yourselves out after this race is completed.
You got me those shirts. You got me those shirts. Tell you what, Dave Wise, looking forward to this one. You don't find many father-son races. We've got the big yellow Evercraft Troy Marlin, 510 cubic inch big block Chevrolet, proudly sponsored by Marlin Mushrooms, English Race Engines, Warren's Plumbing and Drainage, and of course his son in the white boat, just firing up. So hang on to your hats, ladies and gentlemen. We certainly have one of the fastest blown alcohol displacements. The Kilpatrick family, synonymous in powerboat racing, do a lot of travel, and I mean lots. Boats milling in the well past the NZ at Bundaberg. Top turn, just milling around. We're waiting on water conditions to settle. We've got rid of all those rollers. We'll get them a nice clean slate coming down the Smiley group of companies front straight. These blown alcohol displacements, well, we've got 2 of them on the water. They will attract a crowd just by themselves. Ladies and gentlemen, hold on to your hats. You're in for an absolute treat coming up. Coming up to the start. Marlin out of 2, his son on the inside, and Fury right down the outside. Look at Marlin. We can see Chessa, the way he was moving around the outside. Sick puppy. It's a Marlin 1-2 on the water. The 4th place going to Kilpatrick, but the father and son are 1-2. They're 1-2 coming onto the Smiley group front straight. Troy, but his son on the inside. The little 6-litre. Unfortunately for Fury has stopped on the Smiley group front straight. Kilpatrick holding 3rd. They should see a yellow flag next time around. Fury has stopped right in the centre of the course. We've got a white with a red diagonal stripe through. A danger flag on the course. And the son, Corey Marlin, moved into the lead. So coming on to the Smiley Group front straight final time, it's Corey on the inside, Troy on the outside. Who's going to win, ladies and gentlemen? Well, there's one for the record books, ladies and gentlemen. We see Corey Marlin taking Unlimited. Heat 1. Taking it off Father Troy. I'm sure that's part of all the education for young Corey. And what an education. So ladies and gentlemen, warm your hands for the Marlin family. You can see the big yellow boat of Troy Marlin. And of course his young son taking the checkered flag. Of course Corey Marlin. He took out the wagon trophy for 5.2 litres last weekend at the St George Powerboat Club. 16 years of age, ladies and gentlemen. He's only legal for an L plate on the car with a full licence holder next to him, yet he can do 110 mile an hour on the water today. Bad luck for Hayden Sherry there, the Kilpatrick boat. You can see Brian there on the front deck. Unfortunately, Brian, boat normally very reliable, but he's had a few issues today. It's a long way for some of our guys to travel. I'll let you know, mate.
Alrighty, so in a moment we'll get underway with round 2 of racing today. So we'll see our juniors back out on the course in just a moment. So juniors J2, we'll have you underway in just a moment's time. Just while it's quiet for a moment, folks, just a reminder as well, we've got lots and lots of awesome sponsors who've come on board this weekend. So a few of those being our major sponsors, NZ Bundaberg and the Smileys Group, as well as Extreme Marine, Whitewater Marine, Brisbane Marine, Oz Propellers, JMac Racing, Coop Science Engineering, Bridgestone Service Centres Bundaberg, Sidemax Bundaberg, and Wilson's Industrial Sales. So that's only about half of them, but we'll keep mentioning the others as we go through. But of course, wherever you get the opportunity to support those businesses, please show your appreciation by doing so. All right, so I've got a blue flag for Junior J2s. Blue flag for Junior J2. You can make your way out onto the course.
So we've completed one round of racing for all our divisions. We're just about to commence round two. Our J2 competitors on the water. They're our kids between the ages of 9 and 12. They're restricted to 9.9 horsepower of outboard engine. So there's three out on the water. Those people are Lily Theodolou. She's in the boat Little Lucifer. That is the aqua blue coloured boat. Xander Law, driver of Bad Habits, the Little Tennessee wing boat. Chase Smiley, the other competitor, that's the Little Junior Development boat. It's got 8 horsepower. It's one of the development boats used by the Bundaberg Powerboat Club for the usage of our youngest driver. There's no provision to go and purchase a boat. That's used there to see if the kids enjoy the racing. If they do, they then generally go on and buy a boat for themselves or their family. So we can see our white flag aloft in our jet ski. That's our start boat. The boat's coming up for the start. So Little Lucifer, Lily Theodolou, she goes to an early lead like she did in the previous race. Bad Habits, that's Xander Law, son of David. And the Little Junior Development boat of Chase Smiley. Of course, Chase, the son of our principal sponsor here this weekend. Our joint principal sponsor, the Smiley Group, of course, Troy Smiley. A very big thank you to Troy and his wonderful companies. So Lily out in front, Xander Law back in second. We can see young Chase just going around the Bundaberg, beg your pardon, NZ at Bundaberg, bottom turn. So they come up to complete one of three. One of three for our competitors. So was this portion of the race earlier on today that we saw Xander make the big charge on the inside of Lily, but Lily is much tighter on the course this time around and hasn't left that gaping hole in the corner that she previously did. So you can see Lily went in a little bit too hot there. So that's opened up that inside passage there for Xander Law. So yellow flag being displayed. Young Chase Smiley out there in third place. So final time out of the NZ at Bundaberg. Bottom turn, Lily Theodolou still leading. Just about to put a lap on young Chase Smiley. This will be nice and interesting because Xander Law is coming up on the inside here. So, well, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. It ain't over till the fat lady sing Xander Law. What a great inside pass. He's braced his arm. Thank you very much. Wow. That's why we've all got to concentrate for those full 3 laps. That Xander said thank you very much right along the inside.
Okay, so just as these last of these J2 juniors are making their way back in. Juniors J3, next category up, is up next. So we'll have you out on the water in a moment. But in the meantime, a quick shout out to our junior sponsor, Extreme Marine, who are located down on the Gold Coast, but offer services up and down the east coast of Australia and even into the South Pacific. The passion and experience Extreme Marine have for what they do shows in their quality of work, and customers can rest assured that their vessels are maintained to the highest standards for trouble-free boating. So check them out on Facebook and Instagram, or search for Extreme Marine Queensland. And in fact, we do have a blue flag for our J3 juniors. So our field for this group is Little Rustler, driven by Hayden Chiswell, Titan, driven by Isla White, Little Hole Shot with Fletcher Donnelly driving, Little Bees, driven by Dylan Davies, Tori Jane Racing with Tori Jane Wood driving, More Madness, driven by Bella Smiley, Lost Identity with Noah Cosson driving, and Next Gen Marine Junior, driven by Leilani Borg.
So we can see our J3 competitors out on the water. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. We did have a bit of an issue with communications. So oh, Murray, oh! So our rescue craft divers and paramedics all swarming the incident area. As soon as we do know the condition of the drivers.
Not yet.